Hello friends, I'm Sudhir and you're enjoying the YouTube channel English Carnival, a journey of learning with joy. Friends, this channel is dedicated to English language, literature, criticism, academics, motivation and many more. Friends, today we are going to explore, we are going to enjoy the most beautiful, interesting, appealing, optimistic and inspiring poem written by the Nobel laureate, the author of the renowned piece of literature, a collection of stories that is Jungle Book, published in 1894. There are some movies based on these stories and we are very much familiar with all these movies and the renowned piece Jungle Book. Yes friends, he is none other than Rudyard Kipling, and today we are going to explore the most beautiful poem called If, written by him and published in 1910. But friends, as usual, before we proceed, I request you to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you may get the notifications of uploaded videos on this channel in coming days. Friends, it is said that no love is greater than that of a father for his son. And in the same way, in our today's video, we are going to explore, study and understand the most popular, widely admired, emotional but bit practical and appealing poem, a piece of advice given to a son by his father. Yes friends, he is none other than Rudyard Kipling and his renowned piece of composition, If. So friends, the basic objectives of this video or today's video are: number one, to understand Rudyard Kipling's contribution in brief; number two, to explore, study and understand the poem If by Rudyard Kipling in detail; number three, to summarize the poem conveniently with simple words and explain it easily line by line for better understanding. So friends, I request you, don't skip this presentation or video and try to watch it till end to understand this poem perfectly. So friends, without wasting much time, let us begin. Friends, at first we'll have a glimpse of Rudyard Kipling's contribution in brief. As Rudyard Kipling's full name is Joseph Rudyard Kipling, and he was born in Bombay, in today's Mumbai, in December 1865. He was greatly connected with India. He was working as one of the editorial staff members of the Civil and Military Gazette and Pioneer, and worked in Anglo-Indian newspaper as well. His literary career began with the publication of his collection of poems entitled Departmental Ditties and Other Verses, published in 1886. But friends, later on he got an identity as a short story writer. He was the representative of the typical Britishers, and he was just like the poet of the British Empire. His works like Plain Tales from Hills, published in 1888, then Soldiers 3, published in 1888, Barrack Room Ballads, published in 1892, all these poems rightly show the influence he had. His most notable work or most appreciable work, which became the classic one for especially children, that is Jungle Book, just we have discussed, published in 1894. Then we have some other such prolific works like the second Jungle Book, published in 1895, then Seven Seas, published in 1896, Captain's Courageous, published in 1897, The Day's Work, published in 1898, Actions and Reactions, published in 1909, then Debits and Credits, published in 1926. Then we have Limits and Reactions, Renewals, published in 1932. Kipling was the recipient of many awards, many honors, and the most notable is in 1907 he was awarded by the Nobel Prize. Friends, someone has rightly stated that every father should remember that one day your son will follow your example instead of your advice. But still, as far as Rudyard Kipling's this poem is concerned, it is a piece of advice or instruction that a father gives to his son who is about to start his life. The father thinks that his son should develop the strong moral character and should live stable, responsible, patient and confident life by facing the abrupt challenges and problems coming towards him in his life. This poem rightly shows the importance of clear vision, understanding, maturity, and conveys the superb optimistic message to everyone that sometimes there may come some difficulties, troubles, or problems in our lives, but we should never give it up, or we should never give up the hope, and must develop the courage to tackle it and overcome these problems. Friends, no doubt it is one of the most inspiring poems, and I'm sure you will definitely like it from the bottom of your heart and mind. So friends, without delay, let us explore the poem line by line. In the first stanza, Kipling says, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing dears and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. Friends, in the first two lines of this stanza, he says, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. The father addresses his son and says that in order to be a good, responsible, and successful human being, we need to be calm and patient. There may, different situations and circumstances arise in your life in which people may lose their temper and patience, and unnecessarily or unwanted inappropriately they blame you, they scold you, they target you for the deed that you might not have committed. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too. It means, he says that when all men doubt you, you must trust yourself and should not lose it at any cost. People are there to create obstacles in your ways, but you should not be disturbed and be confident in such critical plight of life. But later on he says, friends, better to not to neglect such doubt completely. There might be something good or fruitful that you can gain from such doubting and blaming, and you need to take it positively and try to improve if you have anything to be improved or removed from your personality. Then he says, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies. It means, he says that you should develop the habit of waiting or patience. There must be patience, and you should be familiar with the difficult tasks of waiting, and you should never get tired of it. Since waiting is the toughest task, friends, and nobody likes to do it. But here the father figure rightly teaches his son the significance of patience and waiting. Furthermore, he says, when you live your life in a society among the people, then there is possibility of the rumors being spread against you. There is possibility of backbiting about you, but you should never be the part of such crowd of people. You should always mind your own business and let the people talk endlessly about you behind you. In last two lines of this first stanza, he says, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. It means people will hate you, people will jealous you, they will try to divert your attention and may mislead you to destroy your peaceful and sensible life. But you should never get disturbed and dazzled because of such people, and never possess the feeling of hatred or revenge or jealous. In addition to this, friends, he says, you should never represent yourself as superior, wise, and the best being among your friends or your near and dear ones as well. People will naturally recognize you and your real nature, temperament, or behavior or good qualities in due course of time. Although you are matured and wise and know everything about the world and life, it doesn't mean that you should always speak in pompous way and show that there is nobody like you. It should not be done, and in spite of having all good things with you, you should prefer to live simple, sober, and down-to-earth kind of life. In the second stanza, friends, he says, If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with Trump in disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stop and build them up with worn out tools. In the first two lines of this stanza, he says, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, he says that you can definitely dream and struggle to achieve it, but never be the slave of your dreams. You must dream and do all the requisite things to make your dream true. You must think and try to learn to take wise decisions at right or proper time. You should not just think, and think, so that this thinking will become your final aim. So it should not be like this. In the next two lines, friends, Kipling says, if you can meet with Trump in disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. Though these lines are very much positive, through these lines he says, or he tries to say, that he needs to have neutral stance in his life. It is life and nobody can anticipate it perfectly, but we definitely can make it perfect by following certain protocols and code of conducts. Therefore, he says to his son that he may face success or sometimes he may come across with the failure, and that's why he must learn to deal with both the situations, failure and success. You achieve success in your life, then you should be down to earth for everyone, and if unfortunately you meet with failure, then also with the same strong positivity, determination and patience, you should overcome that phase of failure and express yourself in a neutral or peaceful way. In nutshell, friends, he might be trying to state that victory and defeats, these two are the obligatory part of human life, and one needs to fight with these phases with brave heart. In next lines he says, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. It means, he says, that whatever you speak or share can be misinterpreted and presented wrongly with ill intention by others. There are some people who may manipulate your sayings and statements and represents the same according to their requirements and convenience. Such people are fools, and you should not bother about these people and their stupid deeds of misinterpreting your spoken words. You must have that much patience to bear such circumstances and deal with the truth. In the last two lines, friends, of this second stanza, he says, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. In these two lines, he is trying to convince his son that there might be different actions and deeds that you perform or you have to perform with great interest and hard work in your life. But one day that has to be broken or collapsed or disappeared. And therefore you have to start up again with same energy and enthusiasm to achieve the same with old tools, and it may lead you towards the failure. In the third stanza, Kipling says, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your hurt and nerve and sleep to serve your turn long after they are gone. And so hold on when there is nothing in you, except the will which says to them, hold on. In the first four lines of this third stanza, Kipling, or father figure, says, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. It means, friends, he says that if you continuously win the different challenges and overcome almost all difficult, phases or paths and achieve success with your hard work, dedication, sincerity and patience. But then also you should be prepared to take risk at certain phases of your life. And it is obvious that when one takes risk, then there could be both the results, success and failure. If you have to face the failure, then you should be capable enough to bear the blow of that failure. Therefore, friends, you should never recall these memories of your failure or bad patch of life, and keep walking forward positively in your life. In the last 4 lines of this stanza, he says, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone. And so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. Friends, through these lines, he says that when you fail and scatter, you don't understand anything, you are completely helpless, and there is not a single ray of hope to come out of that blow of failure, then there is only one thing which will help you, and that is your will or your willpower. Yes, it will be your will or your willpower, and which will ignite, insist, convince and force your heart, nerve and sinew to hold on, not to give up, fight and overcome the situation. In the last stanza, friends, Kipling says that if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes, loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can feel the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Friends, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you will be a man, my son. Friends, in the first 4 lines of the last stanza, he says, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. The father figure in the poem, through these 4 lines, tries to convince his son that there could be many people with whom you meet and spend time, but you should never be influenced by anybody or anyone, or you should never behave under someone's impression or influence, or you should not let other people to manipulate you according to their wishes and requirements, and you must keep alive your virtues in all these situations. On the other hand, he says that if you become wealthy and sound and have quite rich and wealthy friends and companions, then you should never forget your roots and past. Here he uses the word common touch and tries to highlight the significance of to be down to earth in all phases of life, irrespectively of your financial background and richness and all. He says you must have quite neutral or such attitude and approach of looking towards others and your life, so that nobody, including your enemies and friends, can't hurt. You should not be possessive at all the time. Instead of such possession and unrequisite emotions, you should try to be very much bold and positive and neutral. Here, friends, as far as the last 4 lines are concerned, in the last 4 lines he says that if you can feel the unforgiving minutes with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you will be a man, my son. In these last 4 lines, he rightly says that the time is quite unkind and it never forgives to anyone. And therefore, you need to utilize the time properly. You must understand the importance of time, and you need to keep it in mind that 1 minute has 60 seconds, and it means a lot to everyone, and especially you. The worth of every second and distance can be understood only when you run. Finally, friend, he says, if you follow my advice and live your life accordingly, then the entire earth and whatever is there in it or in the earth will be yours, and you will be a man in true sense. Here, man means a perfect human being or the complete responsible citizen. Friends, it is true that a father holds his children's hand for a while, but they are hurts forever. The lesson which has been taught by a father to his son is just like holding his son's hand for a while, and now he has to preserve it forever in his heart to live positively responsible and successful life. And this is the only wish and expectation that every father figure has from his son. So friends, it was all about Rudyard Kipling and his beautiful poem called If. Friends, I'm sure you have understood the entire poem and its crux or emotions and feelings that Rudyard Kipling tries to express in a beautiful manner through this poem. Friends, if you have liked this video and presentation, then I request you to like it and share it among your friends, near and dear ones as well. If you have not subscribed the channel yet, then subscribe it by pressing the subscribe button and hitting the bell icon so that you may get the notifications of such videos uploaded on this channel in coming days. So friends, we will meet soon on the same platform with new subject. Till then, just take care of yourself and be happy. Thank you very much.